It's a lot of pressure.
Oh, it's fine. It's just another one. It's just another Wednesday night. Hanging out with
It's
my best buddies, Pat and Matt.
Thursday morning.
it's being live streamed. I see it. I'm gonna
All right.
let me
You put the
see.
link out and I'll reshare it to my followers as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the without any fancy stuff, just gonna share it out. We are we are live at youtube.com, Mal and Nan. Here's the link to the live stream. Exciting.
Woohoo.
All right, I guess I sent it out. So
Let's see. We'll give them a few minutes to
actually, I guess I should tag you all too
yeah.
with feel.
Let's see. Repost. Redo repost.
Yeah, let me update that. Alrighty.
Are now
Well, that's not the
live.
actual link.
Is it not? Did I lie?
That's just the Meow Men link.
Oops.
Oh, the link underneath should be the link underneath should show you the live stream. Yeah, we're live.
Well, that's not the actual link.
You click the bottom part of it. Let me add it then. We're live with. All right, I updated it, and that link, if you click on it, it should be the video.
Hey, there's like feedback. I'm getting feedback, guys.
I heard feedback too. Be sure that this isn't doing it.
Yeah, I think we're live. I think that should be the link to it. But yeah, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be the best way to let me see. Hey guys, if you guys are watching, we're completely new to this, so we're trying. We are trying.
Can you see how many people are watching the stream yet?
Let me see. So let me see what I can do to watch the stream. Ugh. Okay. Live. Yeah, it says we're live. Get shareable link. And I'm gonna mute this so I can.
We are live streaming now.
I'm gonna mute this so I can see.
Yeah. Matt.
Yeah, we're definitely talking. Yeah, it's.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start because we're still got a recording that
Yeah,
people
let's do
can
it.
watch from here. So, hi everybody, I'm the Tesla Tracker, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Crypto Canton Cat and the Great Mattsby. And we are so happy that you're here. And we're going to run down some different ideas here, starting, I think, with a little bit of Tesla. And I guess who wants to go first with it? You want me to start first?
Yeah. Please be a gentleman and start.
All right, I'd be happy to. Let's go ahead and share this out. Let me just put this meeting info away. All right, so yeah, Tesla had a crazy spike up today. I wasn't looking for it either. It caught me by surprise, honestly. I was looking for it to go just a little lower, maybe down to about 165 maybe. And it came very close yesterday. We got low here. First, the screen doesn't show it. Bring it over on the screen here. Yeah, yesterday we got a low of 176.95. That's not right. No, right here. 169.51. No, right here. 5-minute chart. 167.41. That's the low we had yesterday. And then in after hours, it kind of went sideways here for a while and into this morning, and then opened with a bang to, I think, burn the shorts a little bit here. And I was neutral here. I'd sold. I was looking for price to go down, and it did go down. And I sold off my um, TSLZ, my negative 2x bearish Tesla, right around here, about 169, 168, 70. And then I was just neutral. I said, I'm just going to wait for this to go back up, and then I'll catch it. I only thought I was going to go up a little bit, and I buy some more TSLZ and go down again. And it opened this morning right around 170, just before the market opened. Opened about 173 and then went down. And I bought some TSLZ right about here, 171 again. And then, boy, did I regret that, because then it just ran up and up and up. And you can see what my little Tesla tracker triangles here. I try to identify trends. They tend to swing back and forth inside of a consolidate. Well, let's see, a narrowing range of where, as time goes on, resistance trend intercepts a support trend, and as it gets tighter and tighter, it starts to bounce with more and more energy until finally exits. And I've noticed that these always exit the same direction that they were beginning in. So here, price, it was very tiny here, but from right here around 176, price wanted to go up, but then it pushed down. And then yesterday, I thought it would go down a little more. I was looking for a measured move. This one right here from that almost 200 high, when it came all the way down to 168. And I was looking for a measured move to happen from right here, where this is the A, B, and I thought C would give us the point of the spear around 156. We still haven't got it. It still hasn't satisfied that condition. So I think we could still see that coming up. And this is just all from Fibonacci tracking, even though you can see I've been taking Matt's course. The great Mattsby's got a course on Gann charting, and I've begun my foray into adding Gann charting to my Fibonacci chartings. But yeah, here's like sort of an illustration of what my triangles typically look like. If price was moving up and suddenly it reverses really hard, and then it goes back up again, I'm 100% sure it's in a triangle by the time it gets to this point. If it can't make a higher high than that, then I start drawing the converging resistance and support lines. And typically it hits 1, 2, 3, and then does a double tap to the resistance side, then a double tap to the support side, and then exits out in the same direction it was heading in when the whole thing started. It's just, the whole idea is just to delay it. And when price comes out of the top, it comes out significantly farther than where it started, because it's like it's winding all this energy up in here, and then it releases it really hard. The only exception is if price starts to go really deep into the triangle and it comes out with not much force at the end, it kind of dribbles out. And I call this a melt over, which is kind of, it does come out of the resistance side, but it just kind of melts back over and goes down again. Anyway, that's what these are all about. And, I've been telling my followers, even though I'm looking for these lower prices, and they're like, get out of here. The shareholder meeting's coming out, or the FOMC is coming out, or the CPI is coming out. It's going to go to 200. We'll see 250 by the end of the week. Mark my words. I literally saw that post today. And I tell people, but look back on the chart. I love Tesla too, but we've been in a bearish downtrend for a long time. And the chart, while it looks really good this one doesn't look very good. While it looks really good, that we hit the 138.80 low and came up to almost 200. and we haven't made a lower low than this 167.75. That's a relatively higher high and a higher low. However, it's still lower than this high. So we still have to make, basically we have to break through this mental 200 barrier before it can go up and go up higher. And I've got two synopses, or two ideas going on, and they don't exclude each other. They kind of include each other. So my first premise is that price does finish this ABC down. Here, where's my C? Here it is. So here's A wave, B wave, the C wave,
Yeah.
and it could hit anywhere. I'm looking for, right here is a retrace from the 198.87 high back to the 138.80 low. And so far, we just towed over the 50% retrace right here when we got that 167.50 low.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, 167.75 low. Came back, went just above the 23.6% retrace, and then back down, and it got just like a few pennies lower here
Mhm.
than here, very slightly. It looks almost horizontal.
Yeah.
So here we are with a lower high. That kind of took me by surprise today, honestly. But it could still be setting us for a big collapse here. And then all my followers are saying, well, wait a second, but the shareholder of so the CPI report came out. It was kind of like a mixed bag,
Yeah.
but not too bad. It seems like inflation's lowering. And
Mhm.
then a bunch of stocks went up today. Apple made a new high.
Yeah.
Nvidia made a new all-time high.
Yeah.
And then we got a little bit of pullback on Nvidia. And then Tesla did this. And then let's see.
Yeah. It's a
And then,
pretty
yeah,
you drew a pretty nasty descending triangle there.
yeah, yeah. It definitely. So because just like I was showing you in this other chart, no, is this the one?
I know Matt feels differently about that flag because I watched this video too.
Cool.
Um, yeah, but I think Matt has something to say about that too. So
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Just give me one more second. I just want to
no worries. Yeah,
finish
but it's
one.
interesting. Like we're seeing same thing, but it's just like different ways to look at it. So
Yeah, we're like looking at we're the three blind men and the elephant, right? So I don't know. Do they have an expression like that in Mandarin?
I'm sure there is, but
Okay. Didn't mean to put you on the
Matt would
spot.
know. Maybe I don't
No way.
know.
So my first premise is that we still get the ABC down,
Yeah.
and we get either, maybe 161.75 would be a nice 61.8% retrace down from the high back towards the low. Maybe more extreme would be 76.4%. Doesn't have to
Mhm.
do that though. If
Yeah.
we just get the 61.8%, 161.75, then I think price would have completed this ABC down and give us enough pressure to then go to the upside. And up until last week, when I did the Gann charting for this, up until last week, I was pretty convinced that we'd see after 299.29 and
Hmm.
138.80. I thought we'd
Hmm.
come back up and we'd see about at first 237. Then it
Hmm.
pulls back a little bit, and then we
Hmm.
get to like 245-ish, maybe even
Yeah.
250. Oh, I'm sorry, it's these purple ones,
Yeah.
brown ones, and then oh my god, and then it runs back to the other side and
Yeah.
it rams down to the support side, and
Hmm.
it blows. So this first, the move upside
Yeah.
blows out your expectation for what the resistance is,
Yeah.
and then runs to the bottom side, blows out what you expect the support was supposed to be. It doesn't have to make a lower low than 138.80. It just has to make a lower low than this trend line here. So we could see 150s, 145 even,
Hmm.
and then we finally get liftoff. And then we go to like, we're
Yeah.
on our way to retest the all-time high, the
So,
414.50.
so interesting. Your waves don't really include like necessarily include 200 as a strong resistance zone, though. Like with the count, it seems
It
like
would
it's
be. It
yeah,
would be. I don't, like this is just sort of like a back of the napkin sort
kind of
of,
like an idea. Yeah, I see what
yeah, an
you're saying.
idea there.
Yeah, I see what you're
Well,
saying.
just like you guys do when you see once I
Yeah.
get a low and then a higher high and then a higher low, then
Yeah.
I can throw a fib on it, or
Yeah.
at least we can have a retracement to go from. I'm sorry. The other idea that I had is that perhaps we've already gotten two touches up here. But this is my two touches, and this time they fooled us by not breaking the trend. Usually, I expect us to break a trend and then move this
Yeah.
resistance trend line. Maybe this time it doesn't break the trend, and then it runs down here. We hit 138.80. It comes up and it comes back down again, and once again doesn't break the trend. And so, but I was still looking for at least a completion of this C wave down, maybe 160, 175, or the measured move to 156-ish, and then runs up.
Yeah.
So, as I said, both ideas still work because either we get a lower low to 150s or it breaks even lower and does break the trend, and then goes up, or at least it should at least finish this ABC down, I think, to about 161, and then it can do all, sorry, this one here, and then it can do this and go up higher. And then we get this testing up here. Not actually this one. This was actually the bullish wave that some of my fans told me I needed to draw them just so they would see what it would look like. But I don't believe that. I'm just deleting that altogether. So from down here somewhere, from downtown, we go up either because we're all done and we just exit. If I told them if it goes higher than 237, and then goes past 245 and then it keeps going, we're probably done. That we're probably heading on to 300 next. But if it turns, like I said, if it gets 237, then 245 at the most, then turns down, then we're going to get the terrifying plummet to the support side. To check it out before we're done. That's it. That's my two theses. They both kind of, one doesn't preclude the other one from happening. It's just that I still see a lower low. And then, my followers are like, what? The meeting's tomorrow and we're going to get the vote and he's going to get his package. And what if this vote's yes, it's going to go to like 300. I'm like, it could still be a sell the news event no matter what, right? The money managers, the whales, they get us at every turn. Every time we get super bullish and we think this is the time, this is when it's going to go to the moon, then they just sell right into that excitement. And, they sell us all their shares at the higher and higher prices. And they just keep selling it off until we sell it right back to them at a lower price.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. That's my tirade.
No,
I hope
yeah.
you're not sorry I went first.
Those are some good theses. Wait, theses. I don't know, but those
Yeah,
are.
theses is right. It doesn't sound right, but it's right.
I just
At
like the
least,
way it sounds. No, but
thank
I
you.
think it's entirely possible. I mean, like it's a whipsaw zone. I'm not sure if it necessarily get to the bottom of the greater triangle that you have, but like if it back tests to like 161 or something like that, it would not surprise me a bit, you know. Um, yeah, because it does have that nasty descending triangle look to it. Matt, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my screen.
Yeah,
Go
we're
right
all
here.
depending on you
All
now the
depending
tracker's
on
done
me,
with his two
huh?
great theses.
He's going to
It's
rebut
gonna be you.
my idea of it going down lower first.
Well, I didn't think it was going to go lower today or yesterday, but that's just me. Basically, the reason why is the conversion line here. As I mentioned in my video, it was support. But not only that, when you go to the Fibonacci from that high to that low, it's also the 236 right there too. So at 168. So it's even more confluence that this zone is really a good support zone. And also, if you look at the pattern of the AEMA too, it's been closing weekly candles above it for many, many weeks in a row. And this week probably should be no different, but we still have the resistance of the 21 at 184 up there. So yeah, like you were saying, any positive outcome is probably still going to get hit by resistance. And still the 382 right there is like 186. So around 184 to 186 is probably going to be some resistance. So I don't really see it busting above the mid 180s this week. I mean, possibly in the weeks to come, but I just don't see. I just see it stuck in a range, and even more even more so when you go to the daily chart here. And we go to the SMAs only. We'll just take off the Ichimoku and that. You can see the 100 right there. It just wicked above, and that's why I got rejected today. Like people are getting excited. Oh, it's going over 180, but nope, there's that 100 at 178.92.
Yep.
And it closed below, right? So like I don't really see it being a big catalyst unless like we can just like get a huge bullish engulfing candle and then go close above it tomorrow, and then the end of the week close above that 21 EMA. Then that's a possibility that things will start building momentum up to the 200 or that 200 price target, which is right here. Oh, not there, which is right here, right? When we go to my log scale chart, the previous 3.618 from this high to that low back there is at 199.99, which matches my blue line of the GAN, which is going to be massive resistance in the future whenever it gets there. So short term, it's like the mid 180s. The long term is the like longer term is 200s, but this, I don't know when that will break really, because you still have the confluence of the Ichimoku as resistance up there as well, right? Yeah. So it's basically, it's just going to be stuck. Like when we look at this, we'll just take off everything. It's just stuck, right? Right in the middle of the arc and here. So if tomorrow is a sell the news event, I mean, it still has the support of the arc down here and like the 150s and stuff like that.
Which is just also what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Which also, if you go on linear scale, it's also the support of the lower 150s here of this orange angle right here too. So like, no matter what, is it going to be a catastrophe? No, I see maximum pain is going to be in this zone, which kind of lines up what Tracker was saying too. Yeah. But I believe that when we look at this screen right here, this is showing pretty good support of that 236 and that conversion line basically on the Ichimoku when we go to the weekly chart here. Yeah, so
and your Ichimoku's green.
It's going to be tough to say.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, and your Ichimoku coming up was green. The cloud there was green.
Oh, on the daily chart, yeah.
On the daily chart, yeah. The one you were just at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so green could mean go, you know, that's always a possibility. So it's stuck in the range. It's hard to say. Yeah.
So just going through all these three charts that I showed you. Oh, and the last one is my.
I guess we are the trailing Ichimoku trailing line. We're under it again, sort of on that daily chart.
Yeah. That is true. And the last one here is just the angles that I have from the very top, the very all-time high.
It's actually looking like it's respecting that angle pretty well so far.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Beautiful. So it's the great Mattsby's magic.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean, really. So the bottom of that on this week is like 161. So if it did wick down to that angle, that could be the low 160s. But this blue angle right here, going back in time, you can see the importance of it. And it wicked through earlier this week, yesterday, in fact. And that really means that it could have an opportunity to go up to this blue angle, which you can see how big of a resistance that was. So if it went there in a straight line, it would get there at 224, but it's probably not going to do that. It might take more time to where these like intersect over here in January of 2025 or something. Who knows, right? But this is more confluence that this zone is really strong support combined with everything I just showed you as well. So,
yeah. Man,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
If you go take your cursor to this very screen, go back to 2023 and just go straight up, like on the bottom where it says 2023, and then there's the January low, the 101 low.
Yeah.
And then see, and then you follow it up,
angle.
And you have the little serpentine ABC down.
Yeah.
And then now look at where we are now from May, where we had the 138.80 low, and it runs up. And I'm looking for an equivalent to that. See, and I just see the A move down and maybe a B up, but the C down looks really, I don't know. I guess both of them do have a wick they both just toe that blue line, don't they? Each of them both back in May of 2023, and then just this week, it toes just under that blue line. Maybe it will go, and then look, see what happens. So then after in April of 2023, it just runs up to the green line. So maybe after it towed the blue line this week, it'll run up to that upper blue line, that heel line.
There's always a
And if
possibility. Yeah, I mean you're at support right now too, right? Like you always when you're at support, you always kind of have to give it a benefit of a doubt, and you have a very nice wick so far this week, so there's demand underneath of it.
yeah,
So there's always a chance it may not hit the 150s range. If it does, I still think it's a good buying opportunity because there's a confluent
Yeah.
support that you guys are showing. So I'm not sure if
or
it's necessarily gonna get there, but yeah.
and if you even use like blockchain backers, like crashing structure goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go up in 6 and crash into 7. So it completed its
Mhm.
crashing structure.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that kind of stuff too. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll
Uh,
see.
Yeah. I mean, I think that based on a lot of things, like we all kind of think that we've bottomed, around like 140.
Yeah,
The question is just whether or not we're going to get another nasty downward to pick up the liquidity down to 150s before going up again.
It would
And
make a nice 1-2.
yeah, it would be, but like it doesn't always have to do what we think it wants to do, right? Because there are people who are looking higher, there are people looking lower.
Yep.
But it's hard because we're right at support. It's stuck in the range, so it could literally do anything. I know it's not very helpful, but it's but if it drops down, I think it'd be a good opportunity to buy. I guess is the only big message that we're having. Matt, do you want to show us the longer time frame Tesla stuff so we're not like kind of doom and gloom?
Yeah, we'll end on a high note.
How high
yeah.
can it
So
go,
Take it to a
man?
high note.
We need
well,
viewers.
Kathy Wood just basically said 2600 by
Yeah.
2029, right? So
Yeah.
we'll just go into that direction right there. So the possibility next is, of
Yeah.
course, getting past this 3.618. And then once that can be flipped to support, then the 4.236 again at 324, which should be another big resistance level.
Yeah.
But then after that, then there's no more extension levels from that time period. And so then we can probably just use the other Fibonacci from the high
Yeah.
from this one down here. And also that is lining up at the 382 at 174, which is holding as a support too. More confluence right there, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm worried. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
stuck in the range. It may not have to break down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might not break down at all. And essentially, yeah. So if we go up to the extension levels here, where does that 2600 meet? Well, it kind of meets around the 2.272, which is a real big possibility, which also coincides with what I've talked about before. 2800,
Yeah.
maybe by early 2027, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's never on time. Like we saw here that the blue vertical line wasn't the all-time high. It was actually up here like months later, right?
Yeah.
Months later from that. So even if it's months later, it could be into 2027, or years later, it could be maybe 2028 or so. But it's kind of like the same price range that Kathy Wood is talking about. So maybe she uses the GAN model too. Who knows?
She's just watching your videos,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, she's watching the videos. But yeah, even if it goes in between the 2.272, the 2.618 could be somewhere in between the 24 to the 3900, anywhere around there. But essentially, as I've shown numerous times, it's respected the levels one level at a time, and this time is no different. So that kind of means the trend is your friend. So the next level, whether it's 2027 or 2029, somewhere around here, that is basically the next target for Tesla in the future. So if you guys are patient, it probably will be hit because the chart does not lie.
Yeah, and it's also very important with your GAN analysis too to also mention that these things generally follow cycle, and there's also a time component to that. Like the previous cycles, you can see that it was just towards the end of the vertical lines, like it kind of wants to hit the next target real fast. So I wonder whether or not we're gonna, end up doing that over the next couple of years and try to hit some of the arcs above and the horizontal line above, maybe over the next couple of years or so.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that's
Yeah, I could even see the bottom arc here, which is the
yeah,
1.618 getting hit around 2027. Like even if it's like
yeah,
a slow run, right?
yeah,
So that would still be like $1,000 by 2027, and then possibly by what Kathy Wood said, 2029, somewhere around here. Then it gets to the line, right? Which
yeah.
is still a really good gain. But yeah, I mean, would you guys complain about from what 177 to $1,000 in just a couple of years? Probably not.
Oh, not at all. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity to
Yeah.
yeah, like if yeah. Anyway, so we're really talking about short-term stuff here. The vote, people rock pooling. Like I don't. If you have a lot, if you want to trade this move, that's fine. But the longer time frame, I still think we're all three of us are pretty bullish on it. So
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
tell my
Do you want to
followers, I'm
share a
not
chart?
telling people not
yeah,
buy Tesla. I'm just saying it could go lower, but I tell them you don't have to
yeah,
wait for one perfect price. You can buy a little bit all the way down, sell a little bit on the way up, you know, and just always, trade the entire journey. You don't wait for one perfect price. You can be buying Tesla right now. If you're worried, just, spend all your money, buy Tesla right now. It'll be way higher in just a couple of years.
yeah,
And look at this right here. The 4.236 is at 38,000, which is also the next level too.
yeah. I mean, like like
So
I mean,
that
we don't talk about the fundamentals, but this is like a growing company. They're always, like they're
yeah,
executing very high levels, just as a very cyclical stock and a very cyclical business.
yeah.
So it's
That
going
could
to
be
keep growing.
2032 right there. 2032, 38,000. You heard it here first, guys.
I'm gonna have my robot butler, two robot butlers serving me 24/7 at 365 by 2030.
Yeah. So
Maybe I can get four of them that can carry me around on a palanquin.
All right, do you want to share a chart now, Kat?
yeah, sure. Yeah, whenever.
Okay, I'll stop sharing right now.
Okay. Let me know if you guys see my screen. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I can.
so now that you mentioned Kathy Wood, I just want to go ahead and show the ARC fund here real quick because like is their heaviest weighting, right? There are some things I find pretty bullish that's happening with ARC fund too. First of all, this is the monthly chart showing the Ichimoku cloud here. You have the conversion line. You also have the baseline. You had a bullish cross this month, by the way, and prices above both the conversion and baseline. So things are turning pretty bullish here over on the monthly. If you also look at the weekly chart, something very interesting has happened too, right? You're basically talking about price went through, broke through above the cloud on relatively high volume, and it's just basically been back testing the cloud, and so far it's bouncing to the cloud, right? So all of this are actually pretty interesting thing that I'm seeing here with the ARC fund. So it does tell me that, maybe money is starting to kind of come in a little bit more towards the ARC fund, which Tesla is a big component of.
Mhm.
And if you also just look at the Tesla chart, if I can find it, geez, man, I have so many. Okay, where are you? There you are. So if you look at the Tesla chart, I'm going to pull up I'm going to turn off the volume bar here. I'm going to pull up another way to look at Tesla, which I've been looking at with more like a pitchfork kind of thing, right? And I posted this pitchfork back here, and I did like a little bit of like a
Beautiful. I love
here.
it.
Yeah, I mean, basically the whole idea is like, sometimes you play higher notes, sometimes you play lower notes, and right now I'm just kind of playing the lower notes right now. But
And I think
overall,
that's hot cross buns.
right. I mean, it's like a whole channel up, right? So right now we just kind of tap on some of the lower notes right down here. So if you look over here, basically what you're kind of seeing is there's a little bit of a fractal here. I think there's a little bit of a
Mhm.
trend line back here that got broke above and then back tested during last cycle. And there's a very similar look kind of to it, a little bit of a trend line here broke above of it, and then just kind of do like this really brutal 10-month back test, and then eventually we're able to kind of tap the bottom of this particular channel line right here. Found very, very good demand because it's a really nice looking kind of like hammer bottom looking kind of candle. So these are generally very, very good bottom. And right now it's just been trending sideways. But if you guys are talking about hitting 150, I can totally see it double tapping down this line down here. which is going to be
one
around.
more, just a clean touch
Yeah, yeah,
on the
just a clean touch
line.
down here. Yeah, so maybe it wicks down below and it can hit like the 153, 152, 151 right around here, right? So that's certainly a possibility. And that it wouldn't be surprising at all because there is another, support there's another touch over here too at this particular zone. So it would not be surprising at all to kind of touch it. Does it have to? No, because it's stuck in a range. If I just kind of get rid of get out of here. Get get out of here.
I talk to my charts the same way.
Actually, I'm gonna just and then you can see down here to our RSI, like sometimes it hit the high notes, sometimes it hit the low notes. Like that's what's happening, right? It's just been hitting sort of low notes. Look at the monthly Shimoda is not too helpful. The 2 week is a little bit more helpful. And just like what Matt was saying too, you really find support at the conversion line here on the 2 week, and as well as the weekly, whatever pulls up. Yeah, as well as the weekly down here, right? You had very, very nice touch over here in 168. So finding very good support. Looks like very, very nice wick, right? And then the 2 day, 2 days actually telling you, hey, maybe something fishy is going on here. Right before the vote, you got rejected from the 2 day cloud. So I don't know. I don't know what entirely to expect, but I'm also going to pull up another indicator here, which is um I'm going to turn off the RSI here. I'm going to put up the MCDX plus
Oh,
here.
you're fine. I've stopped looking at my RSI too since I got that MCDX.
Yeah, MCDX is not bad, but if you look at the MCDX, which is supposed to kind of use a way to, it's almost like a well momentum kind of calculator to kind of tell you. Red basically tells you that it's more wellish momentum, whereas green is telling you there's a lot more like retail momentum. I think there's something hidden here. I'm going to show you what I meant by that. Like monthly, it still looked like it's a downtrend, and it's also showing like the well momentum is also going down. On the 2 week, actually, it shows you a little bit of a different picture. You actually have a little bit of a wellish momentum coming, and it might make sense because it's trying to find support here at the conversion, right? And then on the weekly, you actually don't see that much whalish momentum, but on the 2 day chart, you actually see a lot more. So maybe, yeah, on the daily, it's like almost non-existent, but the retail is also slowly really declining, right? This is a very, very important thing too. You really want to see the green disappear. It
Less than
looks like,
10% is what the turtle trading fella
right.
told me.
Yeah, so it's really been like decreasing. So what you're really seeing here, maybe there's some hidden, wellish momentum here on the 2 day and on the 2 week chart. Another thing I also wanted to show was if I just look at the weekly, if I get rid of all these other indicators here, if I look at something called the unbalanced volume. The unbalanced volume is a way to kind of tell you whether or not there's any hidden divergence. Usually what happens is on a downtrend, you really should have unbalanced volume going down, right? If unbalanced volume is going up, that means that there's a little bit of divergence. That means that there's a little bit of buying pressure behind the scene. And I've shown this before too, on the weekly chart here, there's been a lot of kind of divergence on the way down ever since like, June, July of last year, all the way down to like April. There's a big divergence of price going down and the unbalanced volume just going up. So there's a lot of kind of these hidden buying pressure that are not apparent. Like somebody's accumulating around this range, which is also part of the reason why all three of us really think that around like 130 or 140 was really the bottom. And I think the bullish divergence is starting to play out because right now you basically have a hard time really breaking down the zone.
Yeah.
And this bullish divergence is really pushing price up like this, right? And this bullish divergence has been going on for quite some time. We're talking about like 9 months of it. So I'm not sure we're quite done. Even if it goes down and tap the liquidity down below, I still think that there's still a lot of bullish momentum to potentially push price a lot higher. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if we're done yet in terms of the correction, but we are stuck in a range, and I still think that between 168 and between 200, I'm going to give it benefit of the doubt. It's just going to bounce around here unless if I see something else different. If it breaks down, it's probably going to be a good buying opportunity. But does it have to? No, I just see it being in a range. I know it's probably not like an Elliott wave kind of thinking theory, kind of thing to get stuck in a horizontal range like that. But that's kind of what I'm seeing so far.
Oh
And
no,
I think,
we get this all the time. We just call them the
yeah.
extended widers, right? The extended wider flat for 2,
Yeah,
extended wider
true.
flat
Yeah,
for
extended.
4
Yeah,
or
that's true.
B.
Yeah, all kinds of like flat expansion kind of things. Yeah. So we might be experiencing something like that, and it's just trying to pick a direction. I mean, ultimately, it's going to go higher because I think we're really done correcting down here. Is my
Yeah.
is my best bet. So another thing too, if you look at it weekly, some big moves are probably going to happen soon. Like look at how squeezy the bullish band's getting. So I don't know which way it's going to go. Another thing too, if you look at the bull market support band, it's just been kind of stuck underneath of it. Is trying to get back above. So we're still at resistance, right? So I can totally see we back test the 168 level down here. We might end up getting rejected. We might end up going to like the 160, 150, somewhere around there, maybe the bottom part of the weekly Bollinger Band, right? You see confluence down here too, right?
Yep.
150, 152, 151. It could go back
Yep.
down there,
And look at
so
that wick all the way left in the April of 2023.
yeah.
One little
Yeah,
right.
you mean this stuff right here? Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the lowest part, the lowest point of that.
Like that stuff right there.
It's
Yeah.
right that, and look at the price.
Yeah, it's 150, 152.37. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it could be, but the thing that I argue against is like currently that candle right here looks kind of like this candle over here. So it does have like a very, very like demand
I could see that too.
hemorrhage kind of looking to it. So that makes me a little bit skeptical in terms of whether or not it's going to go down there and test stuff. So anyway, I am done talking about Tesla. Those are my thoughts. Now, actually, one more thing. In
Oh,
addition to
you
this
lied
thing
here.
right here, if you're talking about the targets up in like 2026, 2027, I can see it potentially hitting some of the higher notes right here. You know, I can see that. It doesn't have to go up to like the top black line over here, but it can potentially test some of the higher notes over here, like maybe like 2000, 2600. I can see that. And then one more
Kathy
thing.
was pulling her punches a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like that's certainly possible. But another thing too, like tracker. I don't know. Like this is my set attempt at looking at like Elliott wave. This is
No, I
kind of
like this.
this is kind of what I'm seeing. On the overall trend. I do think that the big giant parabolic move that we've experienced was wave three of three, and I
Yep.
think we're just kind of basically consolidating, waiting for the next finish up on like a bigger wave five kind of thing. So I'm still bullish on Tesla. I think really like to me it makes no difference if I end up buying it like 140, 150, 170. I really don't care. But I can totally see like traders like you guys would definitely like jump at like 200 sell. So I don't, yeah, but overall I'm still pretty bullish overall on it. So I'm done talking about Tesla. I can talk a
No,
little
that's
bit
great.
about DraftKings unless you guys have any other thoughts on Tesla. I can move on to the next one.
I was going to
No,
say,
I think we spent it. Go
as
ahead.
far as Elliott wave theory goes, I sort of evolved uh, Elliott wave theory into this thinking of my own, where you
Yeah,
get the wave, you get the 1, 2 that kind of gives you the 3, and if
yeah,
the 4 holds up, then you get the 5. But also, I see that a lot of times with a growth stock like Tesla,
yeah.
the 3, 4 just ends up becoming a new 1, 2, and
Entirely
then
possible. Entirely possible.
and then
But
they just
either
keep.
way, it's just a thought that I think regardless, the wave count still favors over the next couple of years to go up. I
Yes,
think,
yes, I totally agree with you and your chart right there.
yeah. So it just looks more consistent with that. So anyway, any other thoughts before I move over to DraftKings?
Hmm.
No,
No.
No.
I'm gonna just start here. I'm gonna let you guys take over after that. Look at I'm gonna jump in and do my favorite thing of the monthly Ichimoku cloud. This is
Woohoo.
DraftKings monthly chart. Ichimoku cloud is stuck underneath. There's a beginning of the monthly cloud here being formed for DraftKings. And right now, initially, we kind of broke back above and we couldn't hold. We tried to back test down underneath the conversion line here, couldn't hold. But so far, the month of June, maybe increased liquidity is coming in and we're able to push price back up above the conversion, but we so far getting rejected here at the beginning of formation of the Ichimoku cloud over here. So yeah, so kind of stuck in a range, unfortunately. If you look at a weekly, we're also stuck in a range. You get like a little bit of a bearish cross over here. You got an Ichimoku cloud down here, so I can potentially see like if something bad happens, I can potentially see it going back down here on top of the weekly Ichimoku cloud too. And you also are getting a little bit like underneath the bull market support band here, which is also a confluent of like resistance up here. We had a breakdown, and then there's not much else to say. There's if you want to go for the head and shoulder pattern, there's a head and shoulder pattern that this time actually did work out. You know, you have numerous head and shoulder pattern in the past that didn't work out, but sometimes it does, right? So you end up having a breakdown of this horizontal zone over here. Right now, it's doing a little bit of a back test. There's a lot of resistance here, so I'm not sure whether or not it's going to break through above. You might have to get back down here, maybe find some kind of support down below before going up higher. But overall, if you're looking at the the whalish momentum on the weekly, like the whales are still present, and you're starting to have a little bit more like declining retail momentum, a little bit more increasing in whales. So even if we're hitting some resistance, I think this whole thing might just be like a correction. I still think that longer term, like if you look at the monthly chart, like this whole whalish momentum over here is just cooling down. And overall, I think it's still picking up, back up again, in the month of June. We're at resistance right here at the bottom of the cloud too. So a lot of component resistance that we just need to build a lot more energy to kind of push up. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. And I do have a small position in this, so I am personally kind of, invested in it. But if you also just zoom out, like basically all it's doing right now is just forming these like inside candles that are engulfed by this previous 2-month candle over here, right? So like overall, this is like it's still like a inside candle, right? It's just a consolidation. You look at a quarterly chart. So I still don't really see anything sinister. It's still above the conversion line on the 3-month chart. So overall, on the macro side, I still think that you had a bullish crossover here in December 2023 on the monthly chart. So overall, I still think that we're just hitting some pretty important resistance. You can't have a big parabolic bull run like that without some kind of cool down. And that's kind of what I'm seeing so far. On the Bollinger Band, it still look, very, very nice. It's still way above the 20-month moving average that's pointing up. And I think we're just cooling down. So those are my thoughts. So I'm going to stop sharing here and let you guys figure out who else wants to go.
Is it okay if I go next, Matt?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Here we go, DraftKings. So I went ahead, I think I gave this the full Monty treatment here. 4 hours. Let's switch to the month view. So I'm starting to do these, when I look at that's a minute, 1 month. I'm starting to kind of, I start from the biggest view I can. And wait, this is Macy's. Oh, actually hit M for Macy's. Here we go. It's like, where's my Gann chart? I know I did a chart for this. So I did a kind of quick test, a quick look at the MCDX here.
Yeah.
And on the weekly chart, it's under 10% retail and over 50%, where you got 66% of the whales. On the monthly chart, it's 11% retail, but even more whales, 75% of the whales.
Yeah.
I was telling my followers that DraftKings is a buy right here.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, so I came back all the way from this lowest, the very earliest part I could get. This isn't its IPO, I don't think, is it? Yes, it opened with for 980,
Yeah.
and it never went lower than its IPO, which is amazing for a stock. You don't see a lot of these, they price the IPO way too expensive, and then you see it fall back to like 50% of its IPO and then move up. In fact, that's what I tell a lot of my followers too. When they ask me to evaluate a stock, like a ticker I've never seen before, first thing I do is I pull up on the monthly chart. I draw a horizontal line for the IPO, and then I draw another horizontal line for the 50% of the IPO, and I look to see if it held that 50% or not. And this one definitely did. So it had this great big, like everyone's going to be betting with DraftKings. Look, and got up to like 74,
Yeah.
74.38 for the all-time high. And then no, betting's overrated, and the Republicans don't like it anymore, and it goes down, and it just went all the way back to its IPO price again. It's like I can't think of many stocks that do this. But I went ahead and I did the beautiful Gann charting, as I've been learning from the Great Mattsby's course. And we've got this nice, I think this is the 1/1 line here.
Yeah, the 45-degree angle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 45. It's not going away because I put a fan underneath it. In fact, kind of what I did, Matt's, is I've been starting off with the pull my tools back up here. I've been starting with
Yeah,
the fan. Instead of drawing a 45, I just like kind of go at the beginning. I pull a fan and I look for something like right here, this top right here. There's a bunch of action on this side, some action down here. And
Mhm.
then I use that fan to pull my GAN square. And I just make sure it's got the appropriate number down in the lower right-hand corner here. And then, so it, lock this in now. Yeah, to me, where am I? Oh, here's my, let me not extend these lines right. But I do want to extend them, but not. All right, so here's my analysis to go along with the GAN charting. Off of the low here, we've got this really big wave one. If I touch right here, here's the wave start.
Mhm.
And then here's, this is wave one right here. I should
Yeah.
probably just, here's your wave one. Here's your wave two. And then this is the beginning of wave three. And so, it's hiding underneath this.
Do you think that's like the wave 1 to 3 kind of
Yeah.
thing?
So starting from the wave two, right? This is wave one of three. No, this is all of wave one. This is wave two.
Yeah, wave
And
2.
from here, uh, instead of usually I look for growth stock goes to 76.4%, then
Yeah.
retraces to the 38.2. This one
Yeah.
went all the way to the 100%,
Yeah.
and then back to the 382.
It's pretty impulsive.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, normally I would look for the 1382,
Yeah.
but I might have to push this up another fib higher, at least the 150, maybe the 16 or yeah, the 1618, which is
Yeah.
up right here. And then I'm thinking I'm going to stick with it. It won't exceed the 100%, so it's going to come back to the 138.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
and then up from this, and then
ah,
I should push this about to. And you can see
yeah.
I like the way the GAN chart kind of helps me out here.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
for the at least the maybe the 2618.
All-time high. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm looking at
Yeah.
for potential, because this impulse into the wave one of wave minor wave one into three looks so good.
Yeah.
Maybe just it was just the gravity of this arc right here. You can see I
Mhm.
colored some of these arcs in extra dark because I just
Yeah.
they seem to have a lot of strong magnetism, some of these. Anyway, that's my whole synopsis from off of the recent low of 3440.
Mhm.
I'm looking for it to double.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
there's a lot of support at the area where we just bounced off of. Like there's a lot of support down here because if you just look at the structure from the last couple of years, it just looks like it was forming like a cup and handle and it's just back testing the top of the cup.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know if you can zoom out a little bit
yep,
and
yep,
like
yep,
it just looks like a big giant cup,
right there,
and then form a handle.
and then right
You know,
there. I see
yeah.
that.
And if you
Yeah,
also see like on the small and like even in with the inside, it has like a smaller cup and handle, and it's just back testing the.
like in the weekly.
No, well, you
Oh,
can do the weekly if you
I
want,
go
but
back to
even
monthly.
monthly you can see it. Like around like around 7 months ago.
I'm sorry, I've got all this stuff in my screen.
No worries. Yeah, around 7 months ago, it also
Um,
formed a little bit of a handle, like with the three inside candles. Um,
oh, right here.
yeah, and we're just basically like, yeah, you see that wick up there, on
Oh,
that.
right there.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
we're basically just back testing that. So it looks like we're just back testing a cup and handle.
Oh, yeah, just right there.
Yeah, like this is a
Yep.
very confluent support zone right there. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
just what I would usually give you a caveat to my followers too, when you've got a really good looking 1-2 here, I always do look, just be careful. You could get an extended wider flat here, and maybe we'll
mm,
see something like that. Maybe we'll go up into this arc, and it'll just kind of bring it back down again before it lets it come up. So look for that's a possibility. And then if I told you, did I tell you guys last time about the theory of alternation between 2 and 4? If you have a really fast, a nice quick wave 2, it usually alternating, the wave 4 will be long and grueling. But if the wave 2 is awful and long and extended, the wave 4 is usually going to be nice and sharp.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
theory of alternation
Interesting.
amongst us Elioticians.
Interesting. Learn
Well,
something new.
that's what I've got to say about DraftKings. I think it's the buy here. And
Yeah.
if you had to put a stop under this, I'd say definitely just put your stop right down here at the 30, 35, 40.
Yeah.
Maybe just under it, maybe 35, 35.
Yeah. Yeah, if it ever gets back down there, I think it's probably going to be a buy because there's a lot of confluence there at that level.
All right, Matt, I'll go ahead and if you want to go next, I'll stop sharing
Yeah.
here.
Matt's going to tell us to sell at resistance, aren't you?
Stop it. No. You guys know me too well. No, I'm not going to say that at all. No, so my Gann chart looks a little bit different. I pull mine out a lot farther. That's why. Essentially, we can see this is the 45 right here. We can see this orange angle, how important that was for a long time, and now it's back on the top side of it. So I would agree that support is kind of like right here, around 37, 38, so this is looking good. But when we look at the weekly Ichimoku, I don't know did you do the weekly, Kat? I think you just did the
Yeah, I did. It's stuck in a range
yeah.
looking like, yeah.
Yeah. So the resistance, the conversion baseline right there at 40, it really is going to hold it back. But essentially, the next big resistance will be up here at the blue angle. As you can see, it's also been important, and that will be maybe in the 50s or low 50s. Yeah, where it kind of meets the arc as well. But then, like the first level actually sits up here in the hundreds, right? 105 on linear. This is linear scale. So, and if that went back to the 45 in time, that could be February 2025, but I don't think it'll be that soon. It'll probably take a lot more time than that. So, just real quickly on log scale here, this is telling a better picture in my opinion. The first level was already hit back here in 2021, and this is the 45-degree angle right here, and it has been rejected numerous times, which is just floating in between angles and levels. And could it get back to close to the all-time highs where the 45 meets? Then that is also February of 2025. So that's more realistic than the $100 price target. So I believe this is the next level, 65, 66, 67 in the longer term, and then possibly the blue level after that and the 400s could be possible for some hopium price action. Yeah.
Woohoo!
But yeah, essentially that's all I got for DKNG. We can go, unless you guys have any questions.
No, I think your levels are very clear. I mean, it's very reasonable for it to hit the confluence right up there around 2025. So yeah.
Let me ask you just one question. If you could pull up the Ichimoku cloud again, the lagging span.
Yeah.
I love the way you describe the use of the Ichimoku cloud in your class, in your coursework. And so, like, what do you do? Like right now, you can see that we were bullish under the lagging span, but now we're at the point where, of course, we're past the lagging span.
Well, no, here's a lagging span right here. Like it's still below. Price is still below it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I think about the lagging
span? So you don't even have to look at the. So you look at the price now, and we're below the lagging span.
Well, no, you go the 26 candles back basically, or I think it is, and then you just see where price is, and there's a lagging span, and right here price is below the lagging span.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just look 26. I see. I've been not quite thinking about it the right way, but
it's lagging. Yeah,
but it's always it's always the at current price. So current price, you just go back 26 candles, there it is. But then you go directly down, and if the candle is below, it's good. If it's above, it's bad. Right.
Yeah. I mean, like I never find the lagging span to be that entirely helpful. Like, what do you think?
Well, I think it
Yeah,
kind of gives an indication if price could break out to
yeah,
maintain its bullish integrity, right?
yeah,
So, like here in a couple weeks, price will need to break out for it to remain
yeah,
like above the price. So
yeah.
that's kind of how I look at it, but it's just kind of a guess though. Yeah.
Yeah, because the same information you can actually get incorporated into the conversion and base too. I don't know. It's a little bit hard for me. Anyway,
With one
um,
look, with one look, you can tell.
yeah, that's why you should move
Yeah.
the sensor, right? Yeah, you move. Yeah,
Yeah.
and anyway,
Oh yeah, emu, yeah.
yeah, you move. Yeah. So I'm good. I mean, I think everybody here kind of agrees. Like, I think it's a good spot. It could still end up being stuck in a range in the short term, but overall, it's probably going to go higher if you give it
Yeah.
another, year or so. So cool. Want to do a
So I
firm?
can, yeah, we can do Affirm. I'll start on linear scale,
Yeah.
AFRM. So there's my GAN for Affirm for linear. So it's found
Uh,
that all-time low. And we can just zoom out a
this
little
is
bit just to see.
this is where you say seller resistance.
Well, it was seller resistance right there, 39. But let's pull up the Ichimoku just to see some
Yeah.
confluence, and you can see exactly where it bounced, and that's why I didn't get to the blue angle. It bounced right at the leading span B at the bottom there.
Yeah.
And so now if it can close this week above, then it could flip this cloud back to support and then challenge this 45 again. But essentially, you can see how perfectly it timed the top two right there with
Yeah.
that angle. And then once it lost the 45, it flipped it as resistance, not once, but twice. So this could be some bigger resistance coming up in the future. And if that ever can get broken, then it has the possibility to finally get to the first level here at around $66, 67 or so. And if we go to the log scale version of Affirm, AFRM, and I'll just take off the Ichimoku there because we already saw it. And this one already reached the first couple of levels, reached that level, the first level here back in 2023. Then it broke through, then it reached the blue level. Exactly, that marked the top perfectly.
Mhm.
And now we can see where it's finding support right here with the orange arcs. And it is now challenging this angle right here as well. So if it can break above, it has a possibility of getting back into the 50s again. But if not, it could just trend like sideways for a while until it maybe gets to this angle and then maybe goes up. So it's essentially just stuck under resistance is what I'm really saying overall. And is it going to break the free? Maybe. I mean, if it starts closing candles above this angle, then linear scale will look a lot better for breaking this 45.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then it might just drift lower to sideways for quite some time. So we'll keep an eye on this angle going forward.
Cool.
Can I do it next?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
AFRM, huh? I haven't done this
Yeah.
one.
AFRM. Yep.
Oops.
You're up.
I'm trying to pull up my zoom control. Go.
Do it. Do it. Share
So
screen. Share
many.
screen.
Here we go.
Do
I
it.
got. I got. I
Do
got. I
it.
got.
Share screen. Share screen. Do it. Do it. Share screen. There you
All right. Here we
No
go.
pressure.
That's so cute. I love that. It's like those. You're at those little shops, and the ladies are like opening the pearls for you, and then making jewelry out of it, and they chant when they open the.
go.
It's this adorable thing they
I don't
do.
know what you're talking about.
It's in Disney World, Japan.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's really adorable. Where's the line floating meeting controls? Okay, here we go. All right, let's take a look. Monthly chart. So it really, if I got the right one, right, firm, and it's only
Yeah.
like
Either.
sold
Yep.
in 2021. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, the first thing I do is I look for the IPO and open at 90.90.
Mhm.
So I'll just put this and then 90.90. And then now let's do another one for 45.45. And then so here's the 50. Oh, it lost 50% of the IPO. That's not great. Um, but if it can hold this next level of support, I can see that here's 862 is the all-time low, and here is your wave one, and here's your wave two, right? So if it can hold 28.39 as the support low, then a winning stock would
Woohoo!
look like,
$90.
all
Woohoo!
right.
$90, $90,
Yeah,
90.
yeah,
Nope,
you
nope.
skip to the end, right? You just uh maybe 764,
Oh,
382, one
$90,
one
$90,
three eight
$90.
two, 100, and then 2382,
$100,
132.86.
100. Whoa, whoa. Okay,
So
that's a pretty big wave five of
that would be
yeah.
like a nice five. Now let me, probably what I should have done is
Wow.
let's look on the daily chart. And I just want to get a feel for the stock, right? Because I've never seen it
Yeah,
before. I've never even looked at it before now.
yeah,
Let's go back in its history. Let's see what it kind of did right around. Let me turn off the Ichimoku cloud. It's making me crazy.
yeah.
Love the Ichimoku cloud, but it's that one with all the lines, and then this one. But these are the ones I'm used to using. Right here. So that, let's just use this one. 880 low, and then this looks like an AB one. This could be the 1 2. This could be the 1 2. Let's just use this one. All I need is the flavor. Um, so off of here, 764 does do the 764 and does do the 382. And here's the 382 again. And it went higher than the 1382 and it kind of burned out. It went to I'm sorry, these are let's get rid of this for a second. Turn off the visible range volume profile. And yeah, just what happened was it did all this and then just fell over again. So in fact, what I could do is I could say now that if I was charting this and I just need to know what's going to happen next, I'd say, well, now this is the wave one,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the wave two, because
Mm-hmm.
this all fell over, and that makes a nicer 1 2. And look, it got an extended wider flat again.
Yeah.
So it almost fell back to the two after getting this time went to the 618. Oh, that's interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
fell over, then over the 100%,
Yeah.
then back to the 382. This thing's just been all over the place. So yeah, I would say it would be fair to use my oops, was it on the weekly or the monthly? Monthly. It would be fair to use my a 3 8 I'm sorry, a 76.4% extension to start off with. So yeah, this is what, if this stock was going to be a growth winner, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
And so I would tell my followers again, just put your stops right here below the below $28.39. Oh, sorry, I've got all these other fibs from that other thing. That's why it looks so crazy. There we go. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just put your stop under the 28.39.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the wave one top and then the wave two bottom, and if 45, well, I tell people, if it gets this far, right, sell at least half of what you put into it up here, or 75% if you want, and then just keep some of it in case I'm wrong. It just keeps going up. But when it starts to retrace, you can sell the rest of them, and then just wait for the wave two to settle down and rebuy it here as it goes
Yeah.
back up. Once you get past, once you're here, you pass the earlier wave one, you can set your stop below the wave two, and you're safe. Even if it falls over again, it won't stop loss you out if your stop is right here because it won't go that far, and they'll go back up again. That's it. That's just how I trade these things. And I always also tell uh, people that are interested or people that are new to Elliott Wave patterns. Uh, Again, if you get the one and the two holds, you will definitely get the three. Don't count on the four. If a chart's going to break, first it'll break at the wave two. Next it'll break at the wave four. After that, it breaks at the corrective wave B to the upside. But if you get the most profitable trade is to come in at the after the 1 2 and then the minor 1 2, and you buy right here, and then you just trade. Oops, you buy right here, and what do I want? There you go. And you sell up here, and then you just don't look back. And you just sell out and you just wait, and you see if this holds or not. And if it does, then you can buy that with a stop just under it, and then look for the wave 5 top. But your best trade is right here between the wave 3 minor 2 and wave 3 top. Sorry, that was probably more than was one thing you wanted, but that's sometimes my head's just like a gumball machine. You put a quarter in, and you don't know what you're gonna get, but uh, Affirm.
Yes, Affirm.
That's Affirm. That's
Yeah,
the
can I share mine too? Yeah,
absolutely, please. Let
yeah.
me what I came up with, maybe 132.86.
Yeah. No, I think your fibs are probably gonna play out well. I'll kind of show you why I think this thing's gonna keep
I'm
going up
going
higher.
to
So
stop sharing right with this button right here. All right, you're
yeah,
up. I can see you
yeah.
now.
So I've been in this stock for a very long time. I actually started tweeting about it right around here when price is like in the teens. And
Ooh,
I started buying like a little bit higher, but I kept on averaging down because I
yeah.
think that it was really starting to show a pretty, decent end to a downtrend here, especially when you have like three candles over here that are like inside candles to this, green candle over here. And especially when the selling volume was really kind of declining down here. So I really started trading around this, like, even like less than $10. I was just like laughing, like whatever, like, and I just keep buying. Yeah, seriously, like the volume is like super low. Like what are you guys trying to do? Like
Yeah.
it looks like a rising three kind of thing, And then sure enough, the next candle was just like big volume, just kind of gone up. And if I remember back then, I was also drawing like these like descending wedges. I always back in the days when I was like kind of still trying to get a hang of it. I keep drawing these like descending wedge, and you see a break out and back test over here on this wedge over here, So I was like, hey,
Yeah.
bullish, whatever. And the volume was really telling you bullish, bullish, bullish. Like, and this is also back in the days when there are a lot of fears when it comes to rate scares and things like that. Like you
Mhm.
remember October
Is
2022.
the firm decentralized finance?
No, it's not decentralized. It's buy now, pay later. They're like a pure buy now, pay
Oh, right,
later.
right, that a firm, right?
Yeah, they're pure buy now, pay later.
Buy a
So
coffee and pay
technically,
for it over 3 weeks.
yeah, so technically they're going to be very rate sensitive, and a lot of people are super scared. But the thing is, like during the entire narrative about like rates are going higher for longer, the firm just kept going higher for longer. So I'm looking at this, I'm just like I'm calling BS on the whole like Wall Street CNBC narrative. I don't really care, and I do think that it was a little bit too overextended over here. I did debate whether or not to sell up. I do see it going a lot higher over time. And I'm not like much of a trader. Like if I would have sold, I probably would sold around like 50 because there was a pretty confluent, resistance zone over here and here. But I didn't, I actually wanted to see if I can add a little bit more down here. And when price got to around like 32, I thought that, hey, maybe a rising three, 1, 2, 3 on declining volume, this might have been it, right? So I ended up like buying more around 32 and it kept going down to like 30, 20, 29. I was just like laughing. I look at the volume, just keep it going down. It's just like I just kept laughing. I just kept adding a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there. And I think that this look over here, we have 5 down candles on a monthly
Yeah.
on declining volume. I'm going to show you another chart that had a very, very similar thing that happened. 5 down towards candle over here on AMD with
Yeah.
declining volume. Like what happens after that? Boom, 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 boom. Like it's it's just I don't know. Like it looks like a very similar setup. Like the volume is just absolutely beautiful in terms of what the consolidation is doing. This is basically very similar to DraftKings where you have a big giant cup over here and a handle over here on low volume, right? The question is just where are you going to find support? Are you going to find support over here at the zone? Or are you going to find support a little bit lower at that wick up here, around like 26? It's hard to say, but like this is a very bullish setup, and I've been saying that for like the last couple of months now, and I've been like keep saying it. I don't care. Like keep going down. I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it. And it was also one of those things. I think Matt was showing the weekly Chimoku Cloud. It bounced perfectly from it. You know, if you look at the monthly Chimoku Cloud, which I also like to look at a lot, you can see it had a bullish crossover here in April. All this bullish energy over here. We saw the bullish crossover in April. I actually thought that this was like the spot to buy around like 32 because it back tested the conversion right here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that could have been the bottom, rising three up from here, right? Nope, down further. You wanted to back test the baseline down here, end up doing that, end up bouncing. Now you're reclaiming both the monthly baseline and the conversion line, right? So the whales also, the monthly, like you have increased pickup in whales, and right now it's just been kind of going sideways, but the whales haven't really left that much on here on the monthly. On the weekly, they haven't actually really left at all. Like you look at MCDX, it's really, really nice. Like they're declining, they're getting weaker and weaker, but they're still here, you know. And right now, this month, this big giant bounce candle over here on decent volume so far, and we're only like 3 days into the week. Looks like wells are coming back, and also at a confluence zone where we're bouncing off of. But I do see what Matt is saying in terms of resistance, because you are hitting the baseline resistance up here, and then another resistance that you're seeing right now is the bull market support band. Like you're trying to break back above, right?
Yeah.
We've been trying to break back into the bull market support band here for like 3 months now. We're just having a hard time kind of pushing up. So hopefully with the volume that we have, hopefully this is like the real deal. And if it's able to kind of use this energy kind of push up, then we can go higher. I'm a little bit more bullish on this based on volume. And I think this is one of those, like, if you're a volume trader, like you would love this stock just
It
because
looks
of the,
completely reasonable to me to like
yeah,
buy it and then just put a tight stop under it,
yeah.
back at a few candles, and then if it fails, it fails, and then you just like wait and you see how much farther it goes and see if it does go to one of those other up candles from earlier. Um, ooh,
Yeah, because if you look over here at the volume shelves too, like you can see that right now it's kind of hitting resistance over here, right?
yeah,
But I do think that once you're able to get above the zone over here, and this is also a very important Fibonacci level, at the zero point 0.5, you do it on a linear way to, from the all-time high to the low. You basically just bouncing between this range, you back testing the zero point 0.5.
yeah,
I do think that once it's breaking above, like it can break through all this stuff up here just because the volume has been just so telling. Buy volume is like increasing like crazy, sell volume just declining like crazy. I think it could hit like up here to some of these levels up here, like around 90s to 100, just like what you're saying, maybe in the matter of like, months to a year. I can see that happening. So yeah, that's all I got for a firm. So
it's cool. Give us another one. Give us another one.
yeah, Matt, you're looking up some couple of other you're looking
Well,
at a couple of other so
somebody
go ahead.
mentioned CMG, and other people mentioned what just recently they just mentioned Enphase. I don't know if we'll have enough time for all of these, but
Yeah,
we can just pull up a CMG here.
yeah, we might be able to get through maybe another like a couple of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
got us started late this evening.
I'll just be quick with this, and we did want to talk about like Bitcoin and all the other stuff too. So let's see.
Do they
So this
have
is CMG.
Chipotle in Bali?
No, well, not in Bali, but maybe in Jakarta. I have no idea. So who knows?
Chipotle they are
But
pretty
yeah,
good. I haven't eaten there in a while, but they're pretty good. I
yeah,
haven't
I
eaten there
haven't
since
eaten
the
in a while.
pandemic.
Yeah, it's been months for me, many months. But anyways, this is the linear scale chart here, and it's from the low of 2008, December. And as we can see, it's been following the market symmetry, especially with this blue angle, very, very well. And now price is breaking above the 45 and this arc here. And when we turn on the confluence of the Ichimoku, it's like showing support of like a baseline, or sorry, the conversion line right there as well. So this could hold to continue higher to the blue arc above, and then eventually possibly the level above in the 4,000s, like 4,300. And just on log scale here, this is showing even better in my opinion, because it's just every arc, everything is just showing as support and a resistance. And like this one followed this blue arc down all the way here, and
Yeah,
then came back, broke above, and then now the first level didn't really stay there that long, but now it's been at this blue level for quite some time. And it also, just like Tesla, following the top arc. And this is like good to see, because this is what I think Tesla is eventually going to do. Like, we just follow the top arc down and then explode higher. And this is exactly what Chipotle is doing right here. And the next level essentially is up here in the 8,000 zone for Chipotle on log scale, which would take a lot of time, I think, to play out. But the arcs, at least, and the 45 up here are going to be playing as the magnet for price. So probably sometime in the future of 2025, maybe 2026, it can get to like 4,000 or 5,000 up here in the ARCs. So that's what I'm seeing.
And
Anybody
I
else
guess
want
they're
to share?
just they're never going to split their stock, huh?
I guess not. I mean, the next Berkshire Hathaway, right? Before they actually ended up splitting, I think.
I don't have much to say. Like as much like from the fundamental standpoint, like I don't really believe in this company, but I'm not a fundamental analyst. Looking at the chart, I don't really have anything bad to say. Like honestly,
Yeah,
like, I'm looking at like Bollinger Bands from different time frames. I'm looking at the well accumulation. Like there's maybe a little bit of like bearish divergence here on the sorry, on the weekly, but it's been playing out. Like I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say about it, to be honest. So
yeah, yeah.
The GAN magic says it's just going for it.
Yeah, I mean, we can see clearly this blue level held us support nicely, so that means it's going to gravitate higher, and that really means 4,000 or 5,000, maybe even up to 8,000 will be next in the future. So,
Wow.
keep going, Matt. Go to the next one. Keep
keep,
doing it. Keep doing it. You're fast.
uh,
We're gonna
what do
get through
what
this
do you want
much.
to do? Well, somebody mentioned Enphase and
Yes, let's go to
in
Let's
Enphase.
the
Enphase. I got a bunch of people that people who like Tesla also
yeah.
like a lot of them. A subset of them like Enphase.
Yeah, so Enphase, and I've been in this stock. I've been a champion of this stock since it was 100. And I mean, back here, let's go to log scale. Well, we'll just stay on linear scale on this one. So basically, in my group, I said I sold half my position at 140.50 today. And I don't know if you saw that, Steve, but yeah,
Yeah, I did
that's what
watch.
I yeah, it was obvious resistance that I saw because it hasn't closed a weekly candle over 140 in a long time. So I just took half my position off at 140 and 50 cents. And now it's just basically in a range, but it's looking really good because it flipped this arc to support finally. Took
Yeah,
a long time. The last time it was support was up here, really. So now it's support. And when we add the confluence of the cloud here, we can see that it also matches exactly with the arc. And that is by a lot zone. If it ever got back down to the 120s or high teens, that would be just keep loading up. But if it doesn't, it might just gravitate finally up to the orange line in the 150s, which could coincide maybe in time where the cloud meets exactly around the same price, maybe in August or so. So we'll watch that. So I could see price rolling over a little bit, maybe going back and down, touching the cloud and then going back up. So we'll see what happens. Just because usually once this trend of lower highs starts, it's really hard to break it. So I don't know if this weekly candle is going to break these lower highs. So we'll see about that going in the future. But this chart is looking really bullish. So anytime it comes back lower, I think it's a good entry point.
Man, you know what I'm gonna ask? I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
the
monthly
monthly
chart.
chart. The monthly
Ah,
Ichimoku
yes.
cloud. You see it's right at
Oh, yeah.
resistance. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's another reason.
yeah, that's another reason I think it needs to kind of break through. Another thing to I want to pull up is if you have the Bollinger Band on the monthly. I also want to show you something. I'm a little bit cautious on it because the 20-month moving average is pointing down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it could
Right.
potentially serve as resistance right at where the horizontal line of your GAN is. I think probably it might end up pushing above the cloud. It might end up getting rejected right around the like the
Yeah.
one yeah like the 155 or somewhere around there. So there's a little bit of confluence of resistance there too. So I'm a little bit I think it's going to break through. Like don't get me wrong, but I think I'm a little bit hesitant to say like once you break around this range. Like you're still gonna get pretty significant resistance around like the 150s. So
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I took off half my position today, basically, because I was like,
yeah,
this 140 zone is going to be tough to break. And sure enough, it ended
yeah,
up being tough to break. And so, yeah, I can really see it just trending back lower, maybe possibly touching the arc again before it challenges everything up at top again. So
I
there's
can kind of
no,
see it.
right now, what's up?
So that's a 20 moving average in gold above it.
Right
yeah.
here.
The one that's curling down, that's a 20-month
I
moving
could see
average.
Enphase kind of like consolidating just a little bit longer until the 20 crosses the bottom support of the Ichimoku cloud, and then it rises up to meet it right at that point. If you just time out the 20 coming down to the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, and then maybe price comes back up to meet it then at that point in time, maybe.
Possible. I mean, like it certainly seems like it's going to hit some resistance and it's probably going to getting stuck in a range there to try and find some support underneath. That's what it looks like. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But I think right now the bigger move, like if you didn't buy in the low 100s, I think right now
yeah,
there's no rush really because it's on the weekly Bollinger Band too. It's got rejected
yeah.
right there too.
You got rejected. Look at
Um,
how squeezed it is, though. Look at how squeezed it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I think essentially it's not going to break out this week. I don't really think so because all these lower highs right here, and this is probably going to be another lower high because it's not going to be able to close above this wick here and the like
Yeah.
137. But we'll see if it does close above this wick here, then possibly it can challenge up above. So we'll keep an eye on the weekly close for sure.
yeah. It does have a little bit of an ascending triangle look to it, so there's there's that. But I just worry about like the longer term, like the monthly chart with a lot of resistance, and also it is confluent with your GAN. So
Yeah. And this is
yeah,
exactly where I bought right here at exactly 100. I had a buy order, and just because it touched the arc, and I'm like, it's go time. And sure enough, it
Nice.
was go time.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. You're beautiful. We all know that.
I can predict the future. No.
Oh.
What else do you guys want to talk about? Let's go. Let's do it.
If Matt's got to go, I don't want to keep him
I mean,
too long.
no, I don't have to go. I'm just saying, like, it's already been what,
Let's
like,
look. Let's look. Can we look
nine?
at CLSK? I guess you've got CLSK right there.
Oh, you
Yeah,
want
we
to do
can look at CL.
CleanSpark? Okay,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
let's do
there's
CleanSpark.
CleanSpark.
Yeah,
Yeah, my target sell point, which I have in my group, is up here around 28, maybe
yeah,
25 to 28. So I really think this angle, once it breaks again on a weekly close, it'll just start going higher. And
yeah,
we can put on the confluence of the Ichimoku and see it also
right.
matches around that. The conversion line matches around that orange angle as well.
Yeah.
So, but we can see clearly support is the baseline. Didn't even need to go to the angle again. So I guess it
It,
depends on what Bitcoin does really, but I can see this breaking in the weeks to come to
yeah.
continue higher and higher and higher.
It's a pretty bullish chart. A lot of people get really kind of, bearish on it and just get really frustrated, but it's a pretty bullish chart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's really nothing bearish. I'm like, that's why if it does ever come back to the baseline or even back to the 13s here, like that'd be an amazing time to just load up because
Yeah.
not only is it back testing this angle, it would be back testing like a previous breakout range too, or like a previous high, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to ask you next. So
Show us the monthly chart.
go ahead and do it.
Monthly,
It's
monthly
gonna blow your mind in
Ichimoku
terms of what
cloud.
it's doing.
Oh yeah.
Look at the Ichimoku cloud. Yeah, look at that. It's just stuck in a range between the conversion base and the Ichimoku cloud. It's trying to break above
Yeah.
of it for like 5 months straight. It's forming like a very nice little hammer so far. Like I think it's gonna break. This thing's gonna,
Yeah.
it's been building up a lot of energy. It's probably gonna end up breaking above.
Yeah.
So
Maybe not this month, but maybe next month. So we'll see.
maybe next month. Yeah, but like eventually
Yeah.
it's gonna do it. So if it's kind enough, if Bitcoin continues to go sideways for another couple of weeks, it was kind enough to do that, then yeah, I think we're gonna probably get a breakout next month. So
Yeah.
I bought
Should we
the
switch
July.
gears?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You bought the July what?
I bought the July 12th call for $24 in CleanSpark, and today it was up 179%.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's stocks up like 8 or 10%. So yeah.
Always
There's
good.
yeah, there's a little bit of I think the market's kind of shifting a little bit. But anyway, that's another talk for another
Yep.
time. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Should we go? Should we switch to crypto, or do we have more
We can
stocks
do
to
crypto.
talk about?
We can
Yeah, we
do
can do
crypto.
crypto.
Yeah. I think somebody requested DOT. I haven't looked at DOT for a long time. But you can also just talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum real quick. Just kind of let you know because I think other people also ask on the chat too. So
Yeah. So Bitcoin, there's the support right here, the orange line. Let me switch to the weekly chart real quick. So
resistance.
yeah, there's resistance, and I've been talking about this blue angle for a long time. And I saw everybody on X getting so excited when it was up here, like, oh, it's going higher. I'm like, don't get too excited, guys. It's probably just going to turn into a wick. And sure enough, it just turned into a wick, right?
Yeah.
And now it's still stuck under resistance. It's still trying to break it, but if it can't break it, it's gonna go back lower, I think, if it can't break within the weeks to come. And then the next support would be 64, then this line right here around 61. So I'd really like to see it break above within the coming weeks, but if not, yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit more pain and people getting upset. So we'll see.
Yeah. The more upset they are, the better. I mean, to be honest, like we need that like bearish energy to kind of push through to go above. We need more people shorting this thing. I don't think it's going to go below, like you said. I don't think it's going to go below like 61,000 because you have a lot of demand already tested with all these hammer candles from over the last few months. So there's a lot of demand already tested for underneath like 64,000, 61,000. I'm not sure it's necessarily going to go below that, but if it does, I think it'll be a good opportunity to buy it right on like
Oh
61,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere from 64 to 61, I think is a good buy.
Yeah.
And you can just see clearly how well this has been holding right here. Really
Yeah.
well. So, and if you go even on, let's go to log scale real quick here for Bitcoin. And you can see why that 1.618 is the 61,330, right? From the previous 2017 high down to the low. This
Yeah.
is holding out support, which is also previous resistance.
Yeah.
So it's basically, this is the line in the sand, 61, and like I don't think it's going to go lower. I really don't. And which means it's going to go to 200,000.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew
Yeah.
you were going to say
And then that means it's going to go to the next level here at 3 million, right?
Wow.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is going to hold, and I don't
Yeah.
really have any doubts that it's not going to hold because look at how well the 1.414 held as support and it never really looked back, and this is not going to be any different, and that means it's going to gravitate to 200,000. Minimum 175 to 204,000 right here.
Anybody,
So
what is a Bitstamp?
a Bitstamp is an exchange.
Yeah, you get these data, you get these
I
price data from different
I think
exchanges.
no, I
So,
think
yeah.
Robinhood just bought Bitstamp, didn't they?
Did they? I think they bought something. Did they? I don't know. Yeah.
I think it was Bitstamp. Yeah.
Cool. So it's
So what is
Robinhood.
a
Yeah.
Bitstamp?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what's going to happen. Like, just patience is going to be needed, but it's going to be 200,000, and there's really, like, Gann is really telling the whole story here completely. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it'll bust.
I also like talked about the top like 10 different reasons to why I don't think Bitcoin's topped yet. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. I think it's going to go higher. The resistance is going to get broken, whether or not it's go down to like 61,000, 64,000, or it's just, go up from here. That really doesn't matter that much to me. I'm not trying to trade this range.
Yeah.
Look at that rising, like the rising three methods going on. Like, look at that. You
Oh
have
yeah,
big,
Ethereum here.
and then you have three like red candles that their bears are trying real hard to bring it back down, but they couldn't. Like they spent 3 weeks so far trying to push it underneath. They're not able to get that done. So look at like how bullish that looks. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
And look, yeah, and look at how well this Gann level is holding. See, previous
Amazing.
resistance here, right?
Amazing.
Previous, and now it's a support. It just wicked through, scaring people. So this looks like a buying opportunity for Ethereum for sure, and for it to continue up to the arcs. And the arc is going to be resistance because it was resistance here. So this is going to be the next place around 4,100, maybe 40, or like if it goes a little bit more in time, like lower 4,000. But then the upper arc, and once that breaks, then it's going to the next level, and the next level sits around 7,000
Mhm.
or so,
Yeah.
with some resistance on the way, of course. But yeah, this chart is looking really good for support, which ultimately kind of looks good for the other altcoins. But some of the altcoins are losing some support levels, so it's just a waiting game, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you put up the Ichimoku claw on the weekly too, like it want that wick right there wanted to touch the conversion, but it couldn't. Like somebody front ran it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it wanted to touch it,
yeah,
but it just couldn't.
yeah,
So I like this is how strong Ethereum is. I think that
yeah.
tells you something.
Well, I think it's this level too that's really telling the story, because previous resistance, now support,
Yeah.
and I think this is stronger than the Ichimoku. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah.
And maybe even on log scale, let's see here with some Ethereum action. Yeah, so the 1.272 was holding as a big support level from the 2018 high down to that low. So that extension, which kind of means that once it breaks this 1.414, 4,600, which was the all-time high from that extension level, right,
Yeah.
almost right on the money, it'll probably go to the 1.618 around 8,300, which kind of matches my linear scale target of like 8,000 as well. So that'll be around the arcs here, maybe in time, who knows, or even the top arc in time could be maybe 2025 or so. But ultimately, we can see this level here, this green level, how important it was. It hit it there.
Hmm.
And now that means the next level is going to get hit, 19,
Yeah.
20,000, right?
Yeah, which is not unreasonable.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I just wanted to maybe show the others chart real quick and just show it's doing the same thing as Bitcoin, right? How it got rejected by this arc right here, numerous weeks, right? But one thing I can see that the weakness here is it's losing the baseline and the conversion lines, which
Yeah.
I really think it's for the majority of the altcoins, maybe not Ethereum, but the majority, it's probably going to still go lower down to the 234 billion for others. But I think you were mentioning about total 3 before, right? How it's still above.
Yeah,
You were
total
mentioning that.
three look a little bit better if I remember correctly. But you also see that there are a lot of wicks down below, so it's really tapping into a lot of the
Yeah.
demand. So it's
Yeah,
hard to say.
there's
Like
total 2.
before you move to total three, if you want to get back to others and
Yeah.
actually change, you know what I'm gonna ask to the monthly.
The
It
monthly.
gives you a little
Yeah.
bit of a different picture. The reason why I say that is because it almost looks like it's trying to just um tap the bottom of the cloud, like it's stuck inside the monthly cloud right now. For others.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it
So,
looks like
yeah,
it's
so
just
maybe it
stuck
won't
in,
get this low. Yeah.
yeah, it's just stuck in a range, so it may not get that low. It could potentially hit the conversion again underneath, you know, but it may not
Yeah.
necessarily hit the horizontal line on again, just because there's actually some support that you can see. It's like respecting perfectly at the bottom of the cloud right there, you know, with the candle open and close. So it's a pretty important confluence zone. So I do wonder whether or not it's just stuck in a range
Yeah. So it's
before.
just once this arc, but once this arc breaks, and we've already seen it with like Enphase, we've already seen it with like Tesla and a lot of others. Once an arc really breaks as from resistance to support, it's just going to go
Yeah,
higher.
yeah, and then the total three does look better. In terms of the weekly, the it's still holding. It's not gotten underneath the baseline yet for total three.
Yeah,
So yeah, so there's still some promise there. If
there
you
is.
yeah, if you include some of the larger cap altcoins. So
Yeah, but my opinion is altcoin season is not really going to begin until this level breaks right here.
yeah,
So this is still like a 50% gain up to here. So
yeah.
that still would be nice, but I
That's
think nothing's going
that's
to
chunk
happen
of change.
until this previous all-time high gets broken, which could be sometime in 2025. So yeah, I don't really think this year there will be any kind of altcoin season, quote unquote, but probably after this vertical line, maybe after April 2025 is when we'll probably start seeing some action.
You don't think the GME
So we'll
money's
see.
gonna rotate the Dogecoin, man? No, no.
Are we going to talk about GME right now?
If you have time, sorry, Tracker, you've been kind of quiet. Do you have
No,
anything
that's
to
fine.
add?
Let's do the
Yeah.
GME.
Yeah. Yeah, let's look at GME. Yeah.
So GME, oh, sorry, I don't look at it on linear scale. I only do it on log scale. So where is my GME? Yeah, so it's still following market symmetry perfectly of this log scale chart. And once again, it's going back towards that angle. Almost touched it this week, but maybe it won't do it this week. But again, this range, I don't really see necessity to just buy immediately. And when you combine the Ichimoku, you can still see it's down there as well, right? So it's just in the middle of a range, and I don't like to buy in middle of ranges. I like to buy support and sell at resistance. So since it's in the middle of a range, I just do nothing. But what's your guys' take?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you do, and I'm sorry to make you be like my monkey. If
No,
you
it's
want,
fine.
if you want to put out the bull in Japan, you
I
can,
thought
and
you
you can,
were gonna make me do the monthly.
nah, not yet.
Okay,
If you
okay,
do the bull in Japan, like I
okay.
think it's expanding. You know, like it looks
It is
like
expanding. Yeah,
the price wants to go higher.
yeah,
And it is just way too far, way too fast, and it just couldn't go up that fast. But the entire all these like crazy red volatile candles, it's dragging the Bollinger Band up, and it looks like it wants to go higher. That's kind of what I'm
yeah,
saying, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, wait and be patient, to like to me, I almost feel like every single time when it gets underneath the weekly upper Bollinger Band, that might have been like a buy opportunity. So
yeah.
for
It
example,
kind of looks like that.
yeah, like, I mean, for example, like if it goes down to like the low 20s, like it did, for the last couple of days, like if you were bought there, you've been in profit. Because it does look like the upper Bollinger Band wants to be a little bit of a magnet while it's expanding, because it's a bull market like right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a dispute there, like in this time frame is a bull market. So it looks like it wants to,
Despite all these, despite all these
yeah,
red candles right here,
yeah, it's
it's
like
going up.
yeah, it's going up. Like it's forming more higher highs and higher lows than
Yeah,
lower highs and lower lows. Like it's a bull trend, and I think it
yeah,
wants to gradually up towards the arc above, and it just couldn't do that quite just yet sustainably, and it just need to expand the
yeah,
Bollinger Band up further. And if you
yeah,
as the Bollinger Band continue to expand over the next few weeks, I feel like the Bollinger Band itself, the upper Bollinger Band itself, is probably going to end up serving as some kind of support to push price up higher to your arcs. And it's probably going to end up breaking above the resistance given time.
yeah,
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Again, like you have to, once it gets to resistance, like there's going to be a bunch of people, like a bunch of smart people like Matt and Tracker. They're going to try to sell at the top of the range,
yeah,
But that's what has been happening is people have been selling at the top of range and been trying to buy back, inside the Bollinger Band. So I think eventually, this whole thing might end up looking more like an ascending triangle kind of thing, and it might end up just breaking resistance and go higher. But it could take time.
Did I tell you guys my
yeah,
my theory on why price stopped where it did that this last spike?
yeah, yeah. Do you want
Is-
to share your screen?
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Let's see.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Where am I
Oh yeah,
Share
and
your screen.
Chan said the Bollinger Bands are really tight on the daily.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening that is yeah, it wants to go higher is what I'm thinking. Anyway, go for it, man.
Let's see. I'm just looking for this button to make the
You are
I
here. You are
focus.
here.
That's always in the way. Ah, here we go. High floating controls. Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, here's my GMH chart, and the reason why I stopped where it did, I was looking for 7120 was where the wave one of three was supposed to hit,
Yeah.
and but because everyone kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to sell at 69," I'm going to sell at 69, and then they front ran 69, and so you end up with an all-time high of, or not all-time high, but a high of 6750. But because everyone started off saying they were going to sell at 69, that's why it stopped where it did. Whoops, my screen just went away. 1 second. I use a TV monitor. It's actually I just use a television as my big monitor when I work here. And every now and then it just the screensaver it thinks I'm not watching it and turns it black on me. But let's see if I go to weekly chart and let's undo this so we can pull it out a little bit. And yeah, I just kind of basically went through price here and I said, well, here's your wave one right here at 997. And then it got all the way up to $80 and then back down to 1770. So there's your 1, 2 right there. And then so off of that, I was able to predict 7120. We got almost at 7120. We front ran 69, so we got 68, whatever it was there. 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68, 68
Am I the only immature person who's like secretly laughing at front running 69?
I
Sorry.
know.
I just want, yeah.
Frontman
Uh,
69.
I would, yeah, I would shut. But one more thing to look at the MCDX plus, like underneath, there's a lot of whalish momentum that's being built up on the
Yep.
weekly, even though price looked like absolutely abysmal for some people who bought higher, like whales are just like it wants to push higher. That's yeah.
It does. And so right here is where Roaring Kitty came on and did his stream. That to me it looked like kind of a bit of a joke. Like I think he was trying to see how many times he could halt the market just with his words, and then trying to see how far he could push it down. And like that was the lowest they could get it during his stream. It hit a low of 2010 that day. Or, I'm sorry, that week. This is the week. Uh, and then, right, I'm sure I've got these. Sometimes my things run around. Yeah, so here he pressed it down, and then it did go a bit lower the next couple days. But I keep my followers keep asking me to do new GME charts. I'm like, I don't have to do new GME chart as long as 1770 holds. We'll see 114.48. But just because it couldn't quite reach 7120, whether it's 69 or not, I'm thinking maybe it won't quite reach 114.48. So instead of the 1382, I just pull it back just a little bit. So to be conservative, if you're holding GME, whenever it goes over 100, you should probably sell between 100 and 110. But then it's supposed to come back down to 87.73. And then if 87.73 can hold as support, and it may not, but if it can hold as support, then I'm looking for 184.50.
Yeah.
But
And
that again, that's going back
if
to
it
the
doesn't
Gantt.
hold us support, then it's going back to 69.
Yeah,
Sorry.
going back to Matt's Gantt chart in my head here. Yeah, it'll look like it'd be really hard for it to get over what was it, about not 80, 90, I think. And was that
Yeah.
where that Gantt arc
Well,
was? But if it, yeah,
my arc is at on log scale. The next level, the green level is at 65, and then the top arc is in the 70s, not 80s quite yet.
all right. So
Yeah.
maybe it just couldn't quite. So
But
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a
you're
double top.
saying you're saying that it's going to have a hard time bringing above like 80 to like 120. Like that's what you're saying.
Well, I'm gonna say it's gonna be really long and hard to break 69. No.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it anyway. Okay. I do want to share one chart after
Sure.
Tracker is done
I'm gonna.
to
I'm
mention about
done.
the
I'm gonna
levels, but I do want to listen to what you have to say. So sorry, go ahead.
just bring my control back. Here it is. Stop share. Okay, go ahead.
Ah, you're done. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rush you.
Oh no, no, but there's not much more to say, right? It's just
Yeah,
if 87. If this one price can hold, then we can get to the other price. But
yeah.
if
So this is
87.73
what
can
I'm.
hold, then you can get to 184.50. But it's just as likely to break down at the wave
Yeah.
floor and not get any higher.
So you see my screen here.
Yeah.
You see my labels.
Ooh, 41 inside monthly candles.
And it's just form a higher low, and it looks like it wants to go higher. Like it's just absolutely insane. Like this
Yeah.
looks like if you look at this what this does is really like it's just wanting to be like very memey, kind of like Doge, like having all
Yes.
these
Yes.
crazy monthly inside candles. Same thing happened last cycle, right? Look at how many inside candles there are.
It's like every time it goes crazy, when it settles back down, it settles
Yeah.
to a new higher level.
Yeah, it does. And it looks like it's trying to do like a Doge. Like that's what GME is looking to me. So if you're asking the top of the range here, what is the top of the range? Well, you'd count this actual candle top here, it'd be like around 80, right? If
Yeah.
you count the wick over here, it's going to be like 120, right? So that might be where your waves are, are counting right around here, where it's just kind of hitting some resistance, going back and forth before breaking up, about this wick over here, go higher if it ends up doing that. There's no guarantee. right? But if it ends up doing that, it's a pretty darn good setup. So, and it's crazy too, because like during the entire time, like the whales never really left. It's still like greater than 50%. So it's yeah, so it's a kind of crazy setup here that I'm seeing. That's all. I just wanted to show that.
Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing. You guys have anything else to share? I think we might be getting close to calling a night. So
I think we were supposed to for the second order of business was supposed to be we're going to wish a certain somebody a happy birthday.
yeah,
Who is
I
who
don't
is
know if
that?
they, I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to expose that as my 16th birthday, but thank you.
Hey,
Yes.
sweet 16 cat. Oh man, you get up
Happy
there in cat
16th.
years.
祝你生日快乐。
Yes. Juni Shangri-La.
祝你生日快乐。Anyway,
Oh,
I hope that wasn't a
Yes.
demonetization thing. Anyway,
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, with the tone. But it was in Chinese, so it's okay.
yeah, they don't know. Yeah, they don't know. They can't pick up on the algorithm. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Happy birthday, certain person.
yep. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you guys.
yes. It was wonderful as always. We should do it. I think let's see whether or not we can really get Danny to come on this weekend. Seems like he's saying preliminary yes. So we will see. Yes, yeah. I don't know if you guys are listening to live stream, you know me, you probably know who Danny is. He's the well whisperer. So we're gonna try to maybe do a stream with him perhaps sometime this weekend. We'll if we're able to make it happen, we'll announce it. So
Yeah. I will do everything in my power. I'll be ready to bring the Zoom on Saturday if he can if it works out for everybody.
yeah, yeah. And I'll flirt with him and do whatever I need to do to get him. Yeah.
I mean, we could do it a little bit later. He probably wakes up around this time, right? 10 o'clock or maybe in,
Yeah, true, but I don't want to be
yeah.
that late. I mean, I want to go at lunch. So,
Ah, that's true.
but if he needs to, yeah, sure. He's the star, so yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're the star too, and so is Tracker. Don't get me wrong, but
We're
yeah.
just a bunch of
Us three.
stars.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right,
When
guys.
I'm on with you guys, I feel like I'm walking amongst giants. So I'm just happy to be
Well, if,
here.
well, if we get two more, we can change our name to the Pentaveret. So, that'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, but we might have to change it to the weekend if he does it. I don't know. It might be a little bit rough to you, Matt. So
We should bring,
No, it's
if
fine.
we bring Open Skies on, she can really bring a lot of following too, and just
yeah,
add
yeah,
a lot of happy flavor to the show.
yeah. We'll
That would
see.
make
I
a
mean,
nice
I think.
Pentaveret.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of different options. It's just let's keep this channel going and see what happens.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
The fifth part we could have a rotating. You have two rotating spots.
yeah. Two rotating spots. Where's like the United Nations? Like what is it? All
Pretty
right.
much.
All right, guys. I'm
But
gonna go.
but
It's been fun.
next Wednesday night at 8, right?
Next
Yeah,
Wednesday
we're
night,
gonna
8.
shoot for
Yep,
that. Yep, next Wednesday night at 8. 8
I'll be
sharp.
here.
8
8
sharp.
sharp. I'll make sure I'm here on time and ready to go
No worries.
All
on
right.
this night.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Y'all are the
All right.
best. All right.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
good day.
See you in the funny pages tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.